Are you one of those who are at this point in time deeply demotivated because no matter how much you are trying, you're just not hitting those success rates that you have targeted for yourself? Are you one of those who are now totally demotivated, not knowing which way am I going to go? Failure, success, north or south? Or are you one of those who are just about to give up and say, hey, I've had enough. This is just not my cup of tea. If you are, then what is it that has made people successful? What made me move from the very foothills of the mountain all the way up to the summit? What is or which are those three important beliefs or tips that turned me into an absolute powerhouse of success? Welcome back. Welcome back to the musings of an old maverick. Welcome back to the archives of my life. Once upon a time, quite a few centuries ago, there was a very enlightened and wise monk living in a small kingdom, in a kutir, way up in the mountains. One fine morning, the monk saw the king approaching towards him, looking very sad, depressed, troubled. So the monk asked the king, "Your Majesty, what is it that is troubling you? Why are you looking so sad and depressed?" And the king says, "I have a very big challenge in my hands. The neighboring kingdom, which is much larger than us, with a far more experienced army, now wants to take over this kingdom. And my soldiers just don't want to wage the war or to resist them." So the monk thought for a while, and then he said, "Your Majesty, I have one suggestion." So the king said, "What is it, my dear monk?" And he said, "Let me lead your army to war." Now the king was absolutely taken aback. How can a monk lead a well-trained army to war? A monk would never ever lifted a sword. A monk was spiritual in nature, never a soldier. But then he had faith in the wisdom of the monk and decided that he would just say yes. So the next day he informed the entire army that the monk would be leading them to war. Now this totally crippled whatever mental strength the army had, because they just couldn't believe that the king actually agreed to allow a monk to lead them to war. So they lost faith, they lost belief, they lost absolute self-confidence in themselves, in the king, in the king's decision. And then suddenly the monk appeared on a horse and announced to them that they will now be walking on towards the borders of the kingdom and to wage war against the larger kingdom. So the soldiers then trudged along behind him like sacrificial lambs. And on the way, they passed the temple, and the monk stopped the entire army and said, "I would like to go in and pray to the God. I would like to pray to God and take God's advice on how to win this war." Soldiers got even more depressed. How will God tell a monk how to fight a war? So the monk went in. And then he came out in a while and said, God has given us a solution. So he takes out a coin from his robe and says that if I will flip this coin, and if it shows tails, we will not go to war and allow the other kingdom to win. But the God said, if it shows heads, you are definitely going to win, so go ahead and fight the war. Now the soldiers were totally focused on this coin and was hoping that a heads would appear. And fair enough, for the moment the monk flipped the coin and it fell on the ground, it was all heads. And the entire confidence of the army skyrocketed, because they all believed that it was God who's given them the indication that no matter what happens, they are going to win. And they went ahead and fought. They fought with all the self-confidence they had. They fought with all the belief that they had. They fought with all the faith they built up. They built themselves so much of strength that they eventually won the war. And then when they were coming back, they again passed the temple, and all the soldiers request the monk that they would like to get off their horses and visit this temple and thank God for having given them the indication that they would win this war. And the monk said, before you do that, let me show you this coin. And then when he showed the coin, both sides of the coin had heads. There weren't any tails. This story is something that I had read many years back, but I, just like you, was struggling with my ventures, my work, and my dreams to be successful. So what made me successful? 3 tips I'm going to give you today. Number 1, don't lose self-confidence like the army did. You know, there is nothing called failure. They're just ways that you discover that don't make things work. It's all right. Because on the way, you will also discover ways that do make things work. And that's amazing. And the more you discover ways that don't make things work, the more you will get wiser, stronger, and your self-confidence will skyrocket. Number 2, have faith. Always have faith. I don't much believe in hope. I believe in faith. Why don't I believe in hope? Because I believe that hope makes you walk through the fire with the hope that you don't burn yourself. But faith makes you fly over the fire. Faith is very, very powerful. Never lose faith in your dreams. Never lose faith in the efforts that you're making. Never lose faith of the fact that yes, you can reach that goal. Don't lose faith. And 3, this is a nice one. Always have self-belief. Believe in yourself all the time. You know, there's a very nice saying. Successful people, they can see the invisible. They can feel the intangible. And they can achieve, therefore, what is impossible. That's my life story. Have belief in yourself. Have belief in all the talents that you have. Have belief in the fact that you were created for bigger things in this world. That you're not just ordinary, you're extraordinary. That you're not just a superhuman being, you're a human being to be super. Just believe in yourself. Just have self-confidence and just have faith. And success will always, always be yours. This is Anand Nair signing off for now. I'm going to see you soon. Till then, have a wonderful life. And thank you so much for being part of this journey with me. And yes, of course, please do subscribe if you like the vlogs I so passionately make for you. And also, please do share it with people you feel would need to know what I just told you. Ciao for now.